What's up? This week's episode is brought to you by Ranger Nutrition. Ranger Nutrition is a disabled veteran-owned company. All their products are made right here in the States, like they should be. They also are all natural, which means you can combine them to make combos, such as the Swole Combo, which that would be the Catalyst XT, the Nitro NO2, and the Max Out, the pre-workout drink. They are coming out with some new products. So if you go on there and you see that some of them are on sale right now, that's because they are doing away with those and coming out with better. So be sure to check on their website. You'll see all that. I think they got some new products. Should be out at this point in about 2 months. So be looking to that. They also do have their very delicious protein that you can mix up in a half bottle of water. No shaker, no agitator, no nothing. I mean, the product is amazing. They also have clothing. They have clothing. They have some of the softest, most durable shirts I've ever worn in my life. They are absolutely amazing. I wear it all the time, and it still hasn't wore out. And I've had mine for about 6 months. So, but also 5% of all their proceeds go to A Warrior's Mind, which is a great organization helping out the soldiers coming back from overseas. But you can go to rangernutrition.com, use promo code SMUGCAST, and you will get 15% off your order. That's Ranger Nutrition, designed for fitness warriors. Also, Jay's Wings and Seafood over on the east side of Indianapolis. They do make outstanding food. Jay is amazing. You can call in your order and save a little time. It's 317-890-0088. They are located at 8237 Pendleton Pike in Lawrence, Indiana, 46226. They make great food. They really do, man. You get some of them fries with that yum yum sauce on there. Holy shit. But you can pop in there, use promo code SMUGCAST, and you'll get 10% off your order, as long as Jay's in there. Apparently his wife's not holding up to the deal. But still, it's good food, man. Hop in there. 10% is not that much. Also, big shout out to Repo Records. They help us out with the audio each and every damn week. They actually do, because I'm usually on the phone with them at least once a week. Those of you who have listened, have heard that we got a new board in the studio, and I'm having some problems with it. So he's having to reteach me every week. I'm not even joking. But that's Repo Records, taking the music back. This week in the studio, this was a fucking hilarious episode. I'm not even lying. We had a great time. Most of you know we had Blonde and Burnett on, and they're a local deal, local show, and it's what we've been trying to do. We've been trying to branch out and get with people who are in our area that do kind of the same stuff. It's kind of one of those where you come on our show, hopefully you get our followers, and maybe we'll pick up a little bit of yours, or vice versa. I mean, it's just we're just trying to market ourselves out to different people. And BJ happened to find another guy here in town that does around town here that does a podcast, and we really dug it. We really did. He's cool. He seemed like he was a cool dude, had some good shows. So BJ hit him up, and he agreed to come on the show. This is Juice. His show is called Juice in the Morning. His name's Justin. Juice is a nickname, of course. But he agreed to come on for some reason. I think he's out of his mind. I'm not sure why many people would come on this show, but it ended up being a great time. We laughed. There was one point where I was crying. I was laughing so hard. So this is a good time. We also had our buddy Chris on the show that's been on several episodes. So he's on again. Obviously, me and BJ and the intern Luciano. He makes a couple appearances throughout the show. But this is a good one. It's a funny one. It's boy talk, pretty much. That's all I can boil it down to. We get into a little bit of how Juice got started and kind of what his show is about and where he wants to go with it. But it's still a good time. It's funny. So I hope you enjoy. With that, This is Smugcast.
Come on, get down to it. I'm trying to learn the job in you. Yes! My GPS system was stuck in the goddamn jungle. Come on.
This is Smugcast. Listen up.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Smugcast. I'm AP. With me, as always, the man who's had more heart attacks than I can't even do it. The BJ.
Welcome to the first summer Brofest.
First summer Brofest. We do have guests in the studio this week, but before we get to that, we want to get something off our chest, maybe a little bit.
Absolutely, this is something that I think needs to be said.
It does. As each and every week we tell you to go to iTunes and rate and review us. And for the most part, we've got outstanding reviews, 5 stars all around. People seem to love us. Until April 27th.
Then it took a turn.
We got an awesome review from The Real Diggs. He gave us 1 star. And he goes,
why did he give us 1 star for
He goes on to say, your podcast is just like most, where people ramble on about random crap for over half the podcast and finally get to their topic. When the fuck have we ever had a topic?
Like 5 times.
Yeah, I think so. Do you realize how boring it is to hear you guys old boying it with each other and reminiscing about yesteryear? You won't have a podcast much longer with this garbage. First off, I could have a fucking podcast for as long as I want. It's a fucking podcast. Who gives a fuck? If I get fucking 10 listeners, I'm still going to do it because those 10 people want to hear me talk.
And second of all, our downloads have actually went up, so thank you.
Yeah, they have. They've went up dramatically, so.
And then we want to make this offer. If you'd like to come down to where we're at, so find us on social media. We'll allow you to come on the show. We'll allow you to format the way it should be, and we will follow
exactly.
your format.
I will be more than happy to produce a show for you.
So there's and if you're good enough, we'll actually let you have your own show, and we will produce it for you.
Exactly.
Open invitation.
His title is Focus on Content, Not Witty Banter.
Witty banter.
You guys have never had witty banter. That is horseshit.
I thought our show was more like reading encyclopedia. That's how it kind of feels. You just start from left and go to right.
And everybody hates witty banter.
I know.
That's
Nobody likes to laugh when they listen to a fucking podcast.
I heard laughing causes cancer.
Yeah, it does.
That and diarrhea.
So does. I heard using a vaporizer creates. I already fucked up the joke. Son of a bitch.
But we gave this douchebag enough time, so
yeah. So, like I said, we do have guests in the studio this week. We have a returning guest who, for the first time in how many times you been on here? 3, 2 times.
This would make 4, yeah.
This would make 4. This is the first time he actually has a good mic.
yes.
Yeah, I'm not holding it.
Every other time he's had shitty mics.
Well, except the time you were sick.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, well, I was down for a week with the flu.
No.
Never had the flu in my life. Fuck that shit. That's bad.
First time?
Yeah, never had the flu in my life. You know, I may have had like stomach bugs, but like the real like flu, where like your fucking lungs feel like they're on fire. Yeah, that shit sucks. But the special guest this week, he does have his own podcast. We have been listening to it, and he is from the area, so we thought let's bring his ass on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We have Juice.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on the show. It's awesome. It's cool to see somebody doing it way bigger and way better than I do.
Well, shit. Bigger? We'll go bigger.
I don't know about better.
We have a lot more. AP has purchased a lot more toys.
Yeah.
I have invested large. My wife doesn't listen to this, so I've invested a large sum of money.
Don't worry, my wife doesn't listen to mine either.
My wife actually does, and she's actually been on the show.
Oh, nice.
She has, yeah. My wife doesn't get it.
Like,
Right.
she actually did the roast and, like, was making fun of me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jen, my wife, hey Jen, if you're listening, I doubt you are, but she definitely doesn't ever want to be on my podcast, and she'll download it, but she never listens. She's she's like, I'll support you in download so that you get that, like, you know.
Oh, at least she
that
downloads
stat.
it. My wife don't even download it. She was like, I'm not going to download it, put it on my phone if I'm not going to listen to it. I was like, God, why the fuck did I marry you anyway?
Well, I mean, there's other benefits.
We also have the intern, Luciano, in here with us today.
Hello.
It's another thing that I'm jealous of you guys, though, is that you have an intern.
That's right.
I've been talking about trying to get one for a while.
He's forced to be here.
No, I said, as usual, Steph's at church right now, and I come here. And
This is the Church of Smugcast.
that's right. I told my son, I said, hey, I'm leaving. Luke's like, hey, can I come? I'm like, cool. And that's awesome. I'm glad that he comes to this. And
Yeah.
he gets a lot of knowledge that most other kids wouldn't get.
I use bad knowledge.
No, it's like what not to do.
Exactly.
From the episodes that I've been listening to, you're getting a wealth of knowledge right now. I'm telling you, like, stuff that people would not talk to me about when I was that age.
No, that's true. We've had those talks with him, you know, and well, I say we because he calls me and goes, "Hey man, I need you to sit in on this one."
Yeah, that's happened twice.
Well, you know, because you know, I have 2 girls, so I hope I never have to have those conversations because I'm gonna make my wife do it. But you know, so I've got my boys. You know, I've got Luciano Collins. You know, he's the only hope. The other one's he's not gonna happen.
Yeah, because I wanted to kill him that night, and I thought, well, I'm gonna bring him over.
Yeah,
here
so he
'cause-
calls me, and you know, of course, I play the crazy uncle because I know it's an awkward time for him. You know, we've all been there, and so I want to lighten it up as much as humanly possible. So I just say the most outlandish shit to get him to laugh and to get him, you know, to break up, you know, the conversation, but still get a point across.
Yeah.
So he's definitely well versed.
Like I said, you're in luck, man. I didn't have any of those conversations. I just figured it out all on my own.
Yep.
A lot of awkwardness.
My dad did not ever have any of the conversations we have had with you. Never had the sex talk. Never had the masturbation talk. Never had any of that.
My mom literally looked at me one day and was like, "Hey," like she was like getting into like that moment of like wanting to have the conversation. She was like, "So what do you know about like sex and stuff?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. We've learned it in school. I don't want to have this talk. We're good. Let's keep it moving and going on to the next thing."
I think what happened a lot of
I'm gonna
us-
go mow the grass.
A lot of this stuff is like we learn from porn, and that's the worst way to learn.
Well, they said, you know, they say that's what's wrong with like the kids nowadays is like they don't know how to, you know, more or less get with a woman because they've seen so much just like outlandish shit in porn.
Yeah, because they think a female cop pulls them over, she's gonna get. You're gonna get out of
they're gonna get a blowjob out of it.
I know it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. Now if a male cop pulls a chick over, he might get a blowjob out of it.
Very true.
If I was a cop, I would probably never have to write a ticket. That's probably why I'm not a cop.
This is gonna be a warning. It's a written warning.
Let's just turn off the dash cam.
All right, damn dash cam.
Yeah. My fucking drink is leaking.
And
all
the fact that, you know, that they have so much access to it. Like, I mean, when I had to like try to find porn and stuff like that back in the day, it was like a search. It was like a scavenger hunt.
Oh, it was. How old are you?
I'm 29. I'll be 30 June.
Oh yeah, so we're right around. I mean, I remember. Yeah, you'd search the internet. You know, you'd find a porn site, and you're like, oh my god. You know, and you just see the cover page, and then it was like, all right. So you start clicking, like, please put in your credit card. Oh, fuck. It's like I'm beating off to the cover page.
I know. I had we had a buddy that he lived with his uncle, and he would steal his uncle's credit cards and then give us all the information.
Oh damn.
So I didn't have to worry about paying for it. It was just. But the thing is it took probably an hour and a half to load a 30-second video.
Yeah, you gotta
Listen to the phone dial go through.
See, I had
If you wanted a video, you were it was all by image back then.
I had a when I was in high school. I had a way of getting videos. from a kid at school, and then he would bring me like a duffel bag, and then I would bring them out to other kids. That's how I made side
Oh
money.
shit!
Oh yeah,
That's
people
awesome.
BJ and I's age, you got all your porn in a brown paper bag.
And then when you went to the old video stores, they would have this booth. That say,
Oh, yeah,
and
man, I
they-
remember the
and they'd
booth
have
in the
that
back.
little what's that like?
Oh yeah. You
beaded curtain?
don't always
Yeah,
wait to
curtain.
see who came through the curtain. My God.
Hey, Coach John. how are you?
I tell you, the first porn I ever saw, I don't even, I was probably 13, maybe 14, somewhere around there. Buddy's dad had a video, you know, popped it in. It was like 70s, like just bush porn.
Yeah.
I mean,
They got sideburns on
yeah,
the
oh
dicks.
yeah, man, oh yeah. And, you know, I just remember watching it, going, "Damn, that's a lot of hair." And then I got to be, you know, that age where I was having sex, and I was like, "This ain't got no hair on it."
Is she of age?
This does not look like anything I've ever seen before in my life. That's like we were talking the other
Yeah.
day. I've never seen one with hair on it. Absolutely not.
Ever?
Ever. Like in person. Like in person.
I'm thinking through, and,
Like-
and I definitely have. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I have not.
There are a few out there. So there are a few stragglers.
well,
See,
it's coming back.
It's coming back.
That's what I heard. I heard it's making a comeback.
Well, while you guys said that, there's some I had on here. The most common misspelled search terms by state for porn. You know, the other day they had one for the most misspelled words per state. Well, they did one. Pornhub did one for the states of when they're searching for porn. So the state of Indiana is actually what is that one? Okay, they struggle with porn, lesbian, cartoon, threesome, ebony, amateur, compliment. What is that one? Filipino, Asian, and stepmom. Stepmom's on there.
So they misspell stepmom?
This is all in Indiana.
No, this is. I just gave all of them. The one that struggles with stepmom is Minnesota.
What the? How the fuck do you not know how to spell stepmom?
They spell well because it's hard to spell with one hand.
I mean, I kind of understand Filipino. I don't think I could spell that.
No, hell no, man. It's
And
like
then
it's like
what-
trying to spell boudoir.
What is it? What's the Japanese cartoons? What's that called?
Anime.
No, Hentai.
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 Oh yeah.
That's
How
Indiana.
the fuck do you know that? Oh, you.
That's
Reading it. I'm fucking reading it.
that's Indiana's one. Texas is lesbian,
Apparently, there's a lot of cartoon masturbators in Indiana.
but porn is the most misspelled word because they spell it PORM.
Well, yeah, because if you look on your keypad,
The N and M are really close.
yeah. I'm surprised it's not spelled pern.
But you usually don't.
The I.
Yeah, the I's right next to. Oh, I do that all the time.
These people must be like raring to go before they even started. Because I mean, usually when you put it in, I understand the search words like lesbian, threesome, but porn,
Porn.
like I mean, come on.
Maybe they're trying to spell prom.
So
just don't know how to
excited
spell it.
that they can't.
Yeah.
Exactly. You try typing with your dick.
Oh God, I don't know why. This is just hilarious. It's that these Urban Dictionary actually came up for a top definition for PORM. You meant to search porn, but you made a typo. Search porn on Google. You saw this over on Urban Dictionary, and now it made you curious. So you click this. Now you are here. Let's jerk it to some porn. I love you, Twitter. No, and it's a tough, difficult thing to say to people. I mean, because guys are open about it, and then I remember that night that like you put it up on.
Oh, yeah.
with your wife in here.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And I
she
thought-
doesn't.
Yeah,
My wife is such like a dude. She is, man.
I just
that
saw the
why she
reaction.
gets- she
I saw
gets-
the reaction from everybody else. That's what it was like.
hashtag one of the guys.
She is. We sat here was that some Friday night maybe?
Yeah,
And you and Q came over.
yeah.
And I was in the middle of trying to get because my wife is she's very fucking smart. She's got like a bunch of degrees and shit. So I was like, let's do a podcast based on what you do, like because I was searching through categories and I was like, these motherfuckers suck.
Yeah.
I was like, we could just nail this category. And so I was like, let's I want you to set in. And so like we talked about it like that day, that night. I was like, BJ's coming over. We're gonna do a podcast. I was like, I'm not wasting any time. I want you to come in, sit
Yeah.
down, talk. Let's do it. And so she comes in and sits down, and it's basically Smugcast with her here, and I didn't realize how uncomfortable I was going to be by doing that.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with porn on the screen on this 46-inch TV for the very first time. Like, I've never looked up porn on this computer here. And then within 3 days, we had looked at twice because we did it with the band too. Was it the band that we did fart porn with?
Jesus.
No, it was before that.
That was Calvin. It was Calvin.
Yeah, and Calvin Chow. Yeah.
So it was, but she sat here and she was just like, "Do they really do that?" She's like, "That does not look comfortable." It's like she's trying to be real about porn. I'm like, "Shut up! Just get in. Just take it for what it is."
Yeah, that's interesting when you go through and try to watch that with someone for the first time.
Yeah, like a significant other. It
Yeah.
just, like, you
or
kind
a
of
parent.
figure.
You guys never done that?
That's a would you rather thing. Would you rather watch porn with your parents or watch
Whatever you're about to say next.
Would you rather watch porn with your parents or get caught watching porn by your parents?
Well, I've done the second one.
I was going to say watch a porn starring your parents.
But what if they done one back in the 70s you didn't know, and you're like watching retro porn, like listening to old records?
You're going to know it's your fucking mom.
And all of a sudden you're like, Mom.
But there's, you think about it. I can't believe we're on porn again. But you think about it, that first time, like you said, that first time you watch it, it's kind of an awkward situation because you kind of go, what if they think this is weird? It's not my fault. I like to watch, me banging my stepmom. It's not. I'm just saying.
No, fine. Yeah.
I have a stepmom, so that's weird that I said that.
I do too. She's an ex-hooker from Ohio.
That's right. So you got an advantage, but it's just weird.
Still had to
it's
pay her though.
Still had to
No
pay
discounts.
No,
She
No
actually,
business to run here,
She had a
BJ.
club card like Subway.
did she
Just kept
actually
punching it.
upcharge you maybe for that?
no family discounts here.
It was awkward when I was ahead of Dad, and he had to go afterwards. Mom, I'm so sorry for that.
His mom listens to this.
She supports me and encourages me to act like this.
My dad does not.
So it would be like I said with the upcharge, it's like Qdoba, you're asking for extra guacamole.
All right.
We can get away from that. I'm sorry.
So speaking of this,
Oh shit!
I was on Snapchat, and you know how a lot of times they have those stories you can look at, and most of them are just ridiculous. But there's this site called dailyuk.com.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one. So while we're on porn,
Fuck, we can't get away from it.
can't
This is
no. But I just read this article from DailyMail.com. Experts warns women about dangerous practice that promises to tighten, rejuvenate the vagina. You know what they were using?
wasp nest.
Yeah.
Oh my
I heard
god!
that. I heard that this week.
I read that.
Yeah.
It's ground up wasp nest as an aid to rejuvenate the hoo-hoo. Has been slammed by top doctor. Of course.
Yeah.
Been slammed. But
Yeah,
like
hell
that
yeah,
guy's.
man.
That's a good writer.
That's why she needs it fixed, because it's been slammed.
That's what I was thinking. That guy's,
Just, it's called oat galls are formed.
Pun intended.
So there also can be like larvae in there.
Like I thought it was so. This is not like sterile wasp nest.
Well, you can actually order it off Amazon, I believe. Like
Fuck, let's
everything.
order some. I'll make my wife use it. She's had 2 kids.
That's a nice conversation.
Hey, what you show?
Happy Mother's Day.
I've just never met a woman that's like really intensely wants to fix that thing.
No,
So
no,
like they're talking about it like, okay, I've seen like these remedies. I've been considering the wasp nest, but I've also considered the neti pot or whatever the thing that they use. Like
Yeah, they steam it.
the steam it.
I mean, because us guys will walk around and be like, hey, I think something's wrong with my dick. and you feel better talking to a group of guys about it.
that's
But I
true.
can't see women sitting around and be like, oh my God, this thing is just like a fucking sail on a boat.
When you're a guy and you think you have a problem with your dick and you go up to another buddy and you're like, I got a problem with my dick. There's a checklist you got to run down. Like,
Is it burning? Is it oozing?
Does it burn? Does it ooze? Do you pee blood? Have you been with an Asian hooker lately? Have you tried anything weird with your dick? Have you tried any cock rings that you're not used to?
Did you use some spoiled fruit?
I love that you guys have this list. I mean, where are my friends at?
Yeah, you
we
didn't
got-
even have to think about it.
we got
that's
some
in the back
shit-
of my head.
We got some shitty friends.
Yep. We do some dumb shit all the time.
No, I saw that and I was just like, that's just. There's just no need for that because I don't think a man is never going to look at a woman and be like, "That's what's wrong down there." It's a man because he wants to go there again. He's not going to make fun of it.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if you look at it and it just looks sloppy, like, you're probably not going to go in
It
there.
looks like a Arby's roast beef sandwich,
Like fucking somebody just flayed open.
or someone's been punching it.
Like a fire.
Tenderizing.
It's like a firecracker went off and everything.
Like someone lit off
That also is on the internet on Pornhub probably. Firecracker.
someone lit like a whole thing of black cat. Just bop, 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 bop.
Oh shit! I'm fucking crying.
And the funny part is, all of us are married. Basically, yeah.
shit.
So we have women we go home to.
Almost.
But I saw the greatest Craigslist ad, so we'll get off inappropriate. But hopefully he liked that we're not old boying around right now.
We did it first, so fucking.
So hashtag fuck you. There's this Craigslist ad that says, need a generic father figure for backyard barbecue in Spokane, Washington.
This looked legit. I saw
I
that.
saw that. Did you see that? It says we'll be throwing a backyard barbecue on June 17th to celebrate beer with each other. We range from age 21 to 26, but I'm going to list off the qualifications. Grilling hamburgers and hot dogs while drinking beer. Bringing your own grill. Thought this was subject to change. We'll provide all the meat. Refer to attendees as Big Guy, Chief, Sport, Champ, etc. while drinking beer.
That was one of my favorite ones.
Talk about dad things like lawnmowers, building your own deck, Jimmy Buffett, etc. Funny jokes are highly encouraged, all while drinking beer. A minimum age of 18 years experience as a father, 10 years experience grilling, appreciation, nice cold beer on a hot summer day. We can't pay you in money, but we'll give you all the food and cold beer your heart desires. Grill for a few hours and sit back and crack open a cup cold ones with the boys. This is a real ad. Do not hesitate to call if you're interested.
I do if I get bored, which is very often. I like to go to that Craigslist and look at the misconnections,
Oh, let's pull some up.
because those motherfuckers are hilarious.
Maybe one day when we get the phone thing working, we'll call and say we're a misconnection.
Yeah, sure. I don't know if they leave their phone numbers or not on there, do they?
Well, how would you get a hold of them?
I think they're just supposed to go and then like email you or some shit.
Yeah, I think there's like a little link at the bottom that you click on, but then you have to go through a couple steps. I've had a misconnection. I'm just kidding.
I would hate to have a misconnection from like 12 years ago when I looked different to now. They're like, no, that's not you. Like, no, that's seriously, it's still me. No, it's not.
I don't know. It's not going to work.
What'd you do? Break it?
I don't know. Apparently. Yes, my keyboard's not working.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Nope, it's not. Oh well.
But I think it'd be funny to do some of those Craigslist ads on having like a needed people for a bro fest. Just think if you're like no one really likes you and you would pay people to have your house during a barbecue.
Yeah.
You're going to keep talking. I got to plug the mouse in.
Oh, you're not. That's not an issue. So since we're all a little bit older, as you know, that Tom Cruise and his crazy self has said there will be a Top Gun sequel. It's called Top Gun Maverick.
I'm definitely down for it. I like Top Gun.
Was you a Top Gun fan?
Dude, I just love Top Gun.
Well, that's not a given. It's right up your alley.
You lost that love and feeling.
We've already.
Whoa, that love and feel. Yeah, I got an awesome voice.
See, I just didn't really care for the movie. I just didn't.
That's okay. I mean, I'm not going to judge you on not liking the movie. But it was one of the best movies ever made.
I think it's because maybe I was a little bit older. Did you, Chris? Did you like it?
I can appreciate it, but no, I wasn't.
I love Val Kilmer. I mean, I'm a huge Val Kilmer fan. The Saint's one of my favorite movies. It's one of his offbeaten. But yeah, just the fact of Tom Cruise again saving the day,
Well, nobody knew who the hell Val Kilmer was when he played Iceman.
No.
I mean, that's 1986, and
But he was kind of a dick, and I liked it.
It was a very good character for him as well.
yeah, it was perfect.
Have you seen him lately?
Yeah, he's doing a little bit better now. He was just in a new video.
Still not looking good.
Well, he had he had cancer, and he seemed to get a little bit better. He had like mouth cancer because I can't think of it. Michael Douglas had it too.
That Michaels was throat.
No, it's the same thing. That's how he consulted Michael Douglas and found out that he had throat cancer.
Well, I hope he's better. I like Val. You know, I don't always like everything he's in, but he's usually good in it.
Yeah, I didn't. When he played Batman, I was like a little weirded out by that.
And all the Batmans from about 94 to, Christopher Nolan took it over. So.
They were
Just a
talking.
wash.
Well, I was sitting here listening to 25 facts about the original Batman. Was kind of weird. I didn't realize all the stuff that was in it. And Jack Nicklaus requested. He ended up making like $75 million because he wanted part of the gross and part of the merch sales. So he was one of the very first actors that actually signed on for the back end. Mm-hmm. And now it's kind of a new thing. Like that's how they can afford a lot of big stars like Ocean's 11, 12. They all signed back end deals off the sales.
I've heard a lot of like just in general that actors and they are doing that, especially like even those like Marvel films, because they like know that once they're done, they're just going to be banking. They won't have to work again if they didn't want to.
Like Robert Downey.
I just want to know who has Ocean's 11 action figures.
What?
What kind of merchandising rights do you get off of that?
I don't know. I've always wanted us like we have two Smugcast t-shirts. That's it. We had two made.
Yeah.
And
We got them free.
We got them free. And I've always wanted to like have t-shirts for sale and someone actually buy one that we don't know.
That
would be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And see someone wearing it. Because that's...
Well, we need to get a hold of the dude that's going to make them.
Well, he's... that was from CJ, right?
Yep.
So we'll try to give the information. His name is CJ, and I guess what is like $7 a shirt? No,
It was less than that.
yeah, no matter what, because normally a lot more, and you have to order. The other thing is you can actually, Shane Irving, he's on Dan Pachter show. He has his own little podcast. He has, if you go to his site, it's like there's a minimum order of 25 through this company, and once it gets made, then they finally start shipping out the shirts. That's the other way people do it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get shirts for our show because, or for my show. I say our, like I've got other people working on it, but it's just me.
We know how you feel.
But so I have looked into shirts and I just think it'd be really cool. And I just like my logo. I think it'd be cool on a t-shirt anyways. And I would wear it I would order 5 and I would just wear one and just give out like 4.
Oh, yeah. No, who did your logo?
It's actually somebody I don't even know who it is. It was a coworker at my job, had a friend that was a graphic designer.
Yeah.
And she told him that I was doing a podcast and she was like, he wants a new logo. And they made something for me and emailed it to me, but I never got the guy's name or anything,
joke.
So I have no idea who
Yeah,
it is.
no, you-
can't even
it's-
give
it's
him.
really-
I can't even give him props for it.
It looks really good.
Where did the
too.
name come from?
Well, the nickname Juice is my nickname from high school. It started as in middle school. One of my football coaches called me Juice just because I reminded him of a friend named Justin that they called Juice. Everybody thought it pissed me off, but secretly I was like, that's kind of a cool nickname. And
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
so and at that time I had switched schools, so I kind of did the new guy thing because I was kind of like a nerdy kid in elementary school in New Pal. Like I just like played those computer games where you like do LAN parties where you like hook up with all your friends and like you're in the same house but you're like playing computer strategy games
Like
against each other.
Doom or something like that?
No, it was Red Alert and and like Civilization and stuff like that or something. And but anyways, so I moved from there and I was like, I'm gonna completely change my image because I'm like starting to like girls. I want people to like me. I want to be like one of the cool guys because I had like 4 friends at my old school. So I switched schools once again. Teacher gave me the nickname. Everybody thought it made me mad, so everybody kept calling me that. Stuck. And then I kind of just like almost used it as an alter ego. Like I kind of just was like I became like a partier. Like I acted like I had a lot of confidence in every situation.
Oh, yeah.
And it actually kind of just manifested itself into actual confidence. Like and then I felt I could just talk to any girl, anybody, do whatever I wanted to do. And so then I was just thinking of an idea for my podcast. Like I wanted to do a podcast for a long time after listening to the Joe Rogan Experience in like 2008. And I just kept making excuses for myself, not doing it, not getting the equipment. And then I ended up getting the equipment and I just thought, Juice in the Morning, just because I was just, that's the only thing I could come up with off the top of my head. And I had spent a lot of time trying to figure something out. And my whole idea for the podcast was to do kind of like 10, 11 a.m. on like Sundays, and like me and my friends go out, drink, wake up the next day, have some like Bloody Marys and like and stuff like that, and do like a show, like a almost like a brunch kind of thing, and we're just hanging out. Well, I don't do that. Most of the time we're recording at night on Sunday or on Saturday or something like that. but it's definitely where it started, and that's where like I've just kind of progressed from there. And the alter ego Juice, man, I'm telling you, like I was Justin Kelly, but then in college and in high school, Juice was like, I was like, you know,
Frank the Tank.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
chugging vodka out of the skull bottles, like
Yes.
and
I like this, man. We're going to drink after this is over.
taking the stopper off of it so it's easier to drink out of.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I like it.
And yeah, a lot of, and that's what kind of is cool and sucks about my group of friends, because we're a lot of partiers. Nobody wants to do the podcast because they always feel hungover and they feel awkward and they don't want to come on the next day or
Yeah.
during the podcast,
Yeah.
or they'll black out during the podcast, and then I have to cut that whole half of the podcast out.
I think he,
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. Is it because we've done it before? I think he needs an intern, but he needs to be called AC. Yeah,
AC?
Juice in the morning then with AC.
I don't get it.
Oh my God!
Did I miss that?
Could you fill him in?
Go ahead.
OJ.
See, look. Oh, shit. Jesus Christ.
It'd be great because I saw Juice in the morning, and then his one of his sidekicks would be AC. You know, he does this. Damn it, you know who I am. This is AC. It shows our age there.
Yeah, I missed it.
I just watched.
got it, but-
I just watched that 30 for 30 again. It
Oh,
was
did you?
spectacular on
Yeah.
OJ. It was just ridiculous. He had this perfect, because he said he had this, you know, like he has this image, great image, like Juice did, and then he talks about his alter ego. Same way
Yeah.
OJ has alter ego, you know,
Yeah.
killing white women.
Yeah, gotcha.
Killing I'm really not associated with that.
I
wanna
just
make that
pretend
clear.
to be a murderer and give myself confidence.
See, that's what Sprouse always says is like, you guys go to the darkest.
We do. We go to the
place.
deepest. We were talking about going to the gun range, and BJ was like, I can't remember what you said now, but it was something like, more or less, it ended up as, well, yeah, man. At any point in time, somebody could just go ape shit and just turn around and start shooting people. He's just like, why the fuck do you guys go to the deepest, darkest place? And I was like, I don't know. You think about it though, he's going to get a couple shots off before somebody fucking shoots him.
Yeah, because that way you're always prepared.
Yeah. So
Like
now,
I always walk into place thinking, what's the worst thing that can happen right now?
Yeah.
And that way I'm prepared.
yeah, somebody can shoot your fucking ass.
I know.
I just talked about that on a recent episode. I haven't released it yet, but is judging people. Like I mean, you're going into that situation judging the worst people in the room, thinking those people could probably cause some problems here.
Based off of how they look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last night I was at Walmart. They have 20 cashiers with one open. By the way. Anyways, this guy walks by me in a tank top. No problem with the tank top, and he had I've always seen people with guns on their hips, right? Mm-hmm. This guy had a 6-shooter.
I mean, somebody like to carry it old school, I guess.
And then I was,
I know some guys who really love that. They only love to like.
Was it in a leather holster?
yeah. And
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It should be. Was he wearing boots
had
and jean
Spurs.
shorts?
no, he had on jorts and then like
Yeah.
combat boots.
Nice.
Shit.
The only thing I wanted
That's
to
the guy
say
you give a
something.
wide berth.
I wanted to say something to him, but I didn't. I just wanted to be like, "Wow, is Greenwood that scary now?"
Yeah.
You know, it was just the old west. And he had like tampons and milk in his cart, and I'm like, "You're giving off a great image, sir."
Heavy Mountain Dew and some ranch.
yeah. No, he has,
For all the people he keeps in the basement.
he has
No lotion.
No, he had Code Red. He had that Code Red. He didn't
Code
have
Red. Yeah.
Then he had some Jolt Cola.
No, I was listening to shit. Now I can't even think of what episode it was of yours. Here, I think maybe it was last week's episode. But you talked about nose picking.
Yeah.
And I am very adamant about it, that I think the finger is the best way to do
It absolutely. There's
Well,
no. You think about it. You take a tissue, you get up in there. You're not. You don't
You're not
have that
getting
close
everything.
encounter, man. You can't feel it. But the fact is that every time I pick my nose now, I think of Juice in the morning. I'm
That's the plan.
shitting
Because
you.
I almost sent you a message like, you know what? Like, I'm very well groomed, shower twice a day, but I cut this finger not as much as this other one.
That's perfect.
Because, you know,
Some people have a coke nail. BJ has a booger nail.
So for all those people out there, if you just leave just a skosh on it, and then you can get it.
Yeah, any longer and you'll give yourself a nosebleed.
I know.
I needed you guys last weekend.
Yeah.
Have you seen? And when I heard this, the first thing I thought of was Jim Carrey rolling that booger
I just listened to that.
in that damn or in that Saturday Night
It's like
Live.
a little
Yeah.
tennis ball.
I don't know what to do with this booger. I'm just gonna keep rolling it.
I remember catching someone eating a booger as a kid, and I was just like, "What? Are you supposed to do that?" Like I was like, 5, 6 years old, just staring at this older kid. I don't know. He's probably Luke's age, just like.
He took like 2 bites,
Yeah, well, he's
It's a big one.
one of those.
making sure he got all of it off.
No, since we're all here and we're always honest, has anyone ever ate their boogers when they were younger? Just
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. When
I
was a
I
kid.
didn't because I saw #Craig do it.
Oh, I'm going out there. I've probably.
I guarantee I have.
Yeah, and it was just weird.
I've seen both my kids do it. I just
Well,
go,
I-
what the fuck is wrong with you?
I asked.
You have to hear that once
Yeah.
in order to stop doing it.
You
I saw
do,
him
you
doing
really
it.
do.
I asked my mom. I was like, "Are we supposed to do that?" And she's like, "No, God, no. Who did it?" I was like,
Yeah.
Craig."
Yeah, I can't remember. My kids did something the other day, and I mean, it was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I can't remember what it was, but like it just instantly just pissed me off. And I looked at my wife and I go, what the fuck is wrong with them? And she goes, they're your kids. I was like, well, that explains it.
That happened the other day with Colin. Probably about a month or so ago, maybe longer. We using the bathroom, taking a Clark W, and I look at the trash next to me. I'm like, why is there toilet paper shit on it?
Oh.
And I was like, is everything okay? Well, he told me he clogged the toilet once, and he's so paranoid now. I'm like, well, use less toilet paper,
Yeah. What the fuck?
and he still did it again. And it just dry. I think he's doing it now on purpose because he's.
Oh yeah, now it's a fucking joke.
But who does that?
I don't know. I mean, I clog the toilet all the time. I take some decent shit. Not even gonna lie.
Those Yale bomber constipation is bad.
Yeah, those opioid shits will fucking get you.
Yeah, they will.
Colin used to clog the toilet every week, and I wouldn't have to clean it
Oh,
because Mom didn't want to do it. Then Colin blamed it on me.
oh my God! And that's what's the problem with now the boys are getting over. You got like 3 dudes in the house that just.
Oh yeah, you
You're
got
doing
three-
work on those toilets.
You got 3 men doing work.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I remember when my kids like started taking like adult shits.
It throws you off.
Like as a baby, you know what I mean? You know, because I mean, you have kids like they have that. What's it called? That colostomy or caustic? When they're first born, it's like this black tar shit.
Yeah.
right?
Oh man, my wife's best friend, they just had a baby recently, and they were talking about that.
Yeah.
He was like, we didn't know what to do. Nobody had told us about this.
Yeah,
like
we were-
paste.
We were freaking
It's,
out.
it's like fucking tar.
Yeah.
That shit sticks to everything.
Oh my
Like
Don't
you-
get that shit on your hands. You ain't getting it off.
Yeah, like you can repair like cracks in the wall.
Oh,
and put
definitely.
the foundation back together.
Definitely.
You
You
got, like-
repair the bottom of a boat with that shit.
It's like Mighty Putty.
It is. But I remember like the first time, like my youngest, you know, you kind of start getting to the age where you're feeding them real food, you know, and it's not just baby food, you know, but like she took a shit and I opened up her diaper and I thought, how in the fuck did that come out of you? I mean, I was like, and she was, she could talk a little bit. And I was like, that's like some grown ass man shit. And she goes, grown ass man shit? And I was like,
yes.
can't repeat that anymore.
That's always hilarious when your kids finally start repeating things.
Oh, I know. I came downstairs the other day and I can't remember. I was just being stupid and I said like shit or something. And my youngest went, shit? I was like, fuck. No,
She
you
said
can't.
fuck.
They have before. Not because of me. My wife's got a mouth on her.
I learned all my cuss words from my mother.
Did you?
Hands down, yeah.
My mom doesn't actually cuss. She doesn't.
She doesn't?
She
What's
never-
wrong with her?
I don't know.
I mean, it's
Like when
it's a form of expression.
she
You
like
got
her,
to. It'll age you if you don't.
well,
Yeah.
her saying shit's like shit.
Oh, it's my grandma, man, like extremely religious. Like I've never really heard, you know, anything come out of her mouth. One day she said shit, and I went, "What did you say?"
Oh, I know, it's shocking. Nobody really on my mom's side really cursed, really,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for us kids.
Yeah, like growing up, I had a very religious grandmother as well, and I went to church like every Sunday.
Yep,
And she would did the washing the mouth out with soap when you said a bad word. So the thing is though, with her, if you said like, gosh darn it, she considered that, like, she would say, I know what you meant to say, and still wash my mouth out.
No shit.
So I had, like, almost like a complex growing up. Like, I didn't cuss in front of my mom until I was 22 years old. Like,
Oh,
I didn't.
shit. Yeah, I probably didn't either.
I never said anything in front of her or any of my family because I was
Yeah.
so, like,
Oh, yeah.
ingrained to not.
Yeah.
And that's why when, like, my wife will listen every now and then to, like, snippets of the podcast, and she says whenever I say, like, fuck or something like that, she says it just, like, kind of takes me out of it because she's like, you don't really cuss a whole lot.
Yeah.
So when you do, it's like, whoa, I wasn't, like, expecting that. So,
Yeah.
and it's just because I don't normally. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't really think about it a whole
Yeah,
lot.
now that I think about it, you don't really cuss a lot.
We got
I
the
say fuck about every other
we
word.
got the remember my mom texted me and said, "Hey, I can't wait to meet AP." But you guys say the F word way too much. I texted her back, Mom, I'm fucking sorry. Oh, fuck, my bad. I'll fucking get under control.
Well, you know, and we were talking about this earlier. You know, when we first started, you know, it was like, you know, we were trying to be so PC about everything,
Yeah.
and it really, like, we're not that way.
Like,
you know?
I'm really glad that you guys have me on here because it makes me want to be more like that in my own show because I think it'll attract more of an
Well,
audience.
you got to be you. I mean, that's, you know, you're selling yourself when when you have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you know, you're selling your brand. I mean,
Yep.
it's you. You know, if people don't like you, then they're not going to fucking listen to it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's like you can't pretend to be somebody else because then you're not going to be into it.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking steamrolls, and you're going to get pissed off like we did.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is, like, you guys having me on here, I feel almost more comfortable on here than I did my own show.
Yeah,
And,
really.
Yeah, like, I just feel like I have to. I know there are people that listen that are people that I think, I don't know, I just think that they would be like, there's people in my family that do stuff that I really want to call out on the show, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
because I know they might hear it.
Oh, shit.
And then I don't want to have that, like, uncomfortable
I've
conversation.
got text messages
Ugh, man.
because I've called people out.
Man, just weird stuff, like, but I'm not going to get into that right this
No,
second.
no, you're fine. No, I mean it's
You might as well. They're not going to listen to this one. Open up, man. Let it out.
It's mainly the group of people that are really, I want to say, is it holistic, where, like, they're
Oh,
all
yeah,
about,
yeah.
like, oils
Oh,
and,
fucking
Yeah.
hippie medicine.
and,
Yeah.
and, like, and crystals,
medicine.
and I just see them like foisting that onto their kids, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
just don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know how to start saying this, but I guess, you know, I've always kind of been, I don't like to take medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I mean, I've always kind of been about, you know, like I go to the chiropractor and that, believe it or not, that's fixed a lot of my shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
a lot
needed
of-
to do that. My
a lot of-
insurance covers it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my problems I've went, you know, so I've always kind of been like, I don't want to have to take medicine unless I'm just really fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, or unless it gets me high. I don't know, either way. But so I've always kind of been about, you know, like I don't really take Tylenol if I don't have to or anything like that. So I mean, I get where they're coming from, but I mean, there comes a certain point where you're like, look, you know, that fucking oil's not going to fix that cancer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to do
Like
something
when
different.
I couldn't breathe in that hotel room and my chest was pounding,
Yeah.
I didn't reach for no crystals. I called
Call 911.
I called the people to desk, dial 911. But real fast is this caught my attention. Man who mowed lawn with tornado behind him says it was, he said it was on his to-do list.
What?
Yeah, look at this
Oh, is there a
picture.
fucking picture?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
No way.
that was in Alberta. He's fucking Canadian. What do you expect?
They don't have tornadoes in Canada. Man, there's a fucking snow up there all the time. That's
But-
fucking Photoshop.
but
Let me
some-
see that bitch.
So someone said something that was really funny. She, the wife, said cutting the grass was on her husband's to-do list, which pretty much explains it. She might want to back off a wee bit. Honey, that grass is high. Tornado's coming. You always have an excuse, John. You're a bad example for your kids. Either that or his marriage is so bad he was hoping to die.
That's a definite possibility.
It's like that guy that always pretends to fall asleep when you go over, like when they come over and he's with his wife, he pretends to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
It's off City Slickers with Daniel Stern. He always pretend to be asleep at all the parties. He's like, is she around? That's when it's bad, is when you know that you have to pretend to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people who have bad marriages, and you just kind of go, you know, you can get out of it, right?
Yeah, but you're always one day away from having a bad marriage. They check your phone, they follow you where you really go. Wait, what?
I don't have anything on my phone that's not locked away with like 6 passwords on it.
There's 3 people that have the passwords. And then we already have the team involved.
You can't tell inside jokes if they don't know the joke.
Well, we'll tell them off air.
Okay.
There we go.
Well, it's been a running gag for like 12
Yeah,
episodes.
I guess it has,
so
I
if
guess
they
it
were
has.
true fans, they would know the gag.
Well, but
I'm
you know
joking.
that he doesn't listen to it.
Well,
he
he
doesn't
know-
even listen to the fucking episodes he's on.
I do download them though.
There you go.
Well, I found out
Bringing
though.
it full circle.
I want to give you support. I just don't have a lot of free time.
Well, what I found out was like I was talking to Trent. He didn't listen to Flat Earth or the roast. And I said, "Well, why not?" He's like, He goes, I don't like the way I sound.
He
He
doesn't want to hear himself.
didn't want to hear
Really?
himself at all.
It did take some getting used to when we first started.
Yeah.
Like you'd listen to yourself and go, God, what the fuck? Like I don't even like this. I don't even like to create a voicemail message
Yeah.
greeting on my phone because I don't want to have to fucking hear it.
Just have the automated one.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Leave a message
Yeah.
for the following number.
Yeah.
No, the first like 20 episodes that I didn't listen to any of them because I didn't like the
really?
sound of my voice. I didn't
Yeah.
like how I sounded or the space fillers that I would use with the uhs and the ums
Yeah.
and I try to stay away from those. It's trying to get better at it.
It'd
Doing
be
it right
tough to do it by myself.
It is. It's really hard.
I really don't, because there's been times, where me and him have done one, just us,
Mm-hmm.
and we have problems, because we're, I'm running the board.
Yeah.
He's looking up stuff. I'm looking up stuff. And you're trying to do it and talk at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's been times where, it's like you're kind of sitting here and you go, yeah, looking this up, and it's like, and you're like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even imagine having to do it all by myself.
I was going to ask you about this. So it's just you. You're solo.
Well, I've been I haven't done a just completely on my own in a long time. So,
okay. I was
when
going to say
I-
that would have to be tough. I mean, you'd have to come up with some voices.
Yeah,
and
well, when
pretend to have somebody in the room with you.
when I first did it, I would write my episodes out and just get myself comfortable with even talking on the mic. So I would literally, I had word for word written out what I was saying, and then when I go back and listen to them, I'm like, that's so awful. Like it sounds like I'm reading.
sound
something.
like I'm reading
It sounds like
a
I'm reading.
report.
Yeah, and so. But it got me comfortable with that, and then also having my grandfather's writing like his memoirs. He's 88, and he's getting kind of close to the end, and he's done a lot of really cool stuff in his life. So he's written like almost a book out, but he doesn't have it published or anything into like an actual format of a book. But he does have transcripts, and he sent me some transcripts. So that also helped me get used to like telling a story. Because he was basically just telling his stories of some of the crazy stuff that's happened to him when he was younger, and that got me just comfortable talking on the mic.
87, you've seen a lot.
Have you had the experience yet where you notice like it happened to us when we had this couple people hit us up on Twitter that we didn't know that were fans.
Yeah.
And we were shocked by it. And I'm being completely transparent. Like we put it out like, hey, it'll be fun. We don't know how well it's go, but then we realized that when people were liking it, like we were shocked that we would get like an email or a tweet to us or whatever it was. Did you have that moment like, wow, people actually are enjoying this?
Yeah, it's the Twitter is what has had the most interaction, and that's like what I've actually gotten people to talk back and forth on. I always throw my email out there, and I also always tell people to go to Facebook and stuff. I've had almost zero interaction through Facebook and email or anything like that, but Twitter, people are always like tweeting and asking stuff, and I don't even know if they're listening to the episodes half the time, but when they bring up something specific that I said in the episode, that's when it like gives me that like, oh man,
yeah.
that's cool shit. Like
Oh,
they actually
yeah.
listened because
Yeah.
they picked out this moment and they were like, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Twitter, I've been dealing with social media for about 6 years now to try to do it on a business level.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, Twitter can, if you're a big business, Twitter's the way to go.
Yeah.
If you're a small business, Facebook is the way to go.
Yep.
Because when you go on Twitter, you can go to millions of people. If you put the proper hashtag in there, the millions of people are going to see that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a love-hate relationship because like now that we're doing this, it's like okay, well I want to get it out to this many people, and you can get it out to millions of people. Millions of people are going to go download it.
Yeah.
That's how many fucking iPhones are being sold every year.
Exactly.
And but when we go on Facebook, like we don't get shit. Like
Same here.
we go on Twitter and we got what 1,500. I think we got like, I mean, it's not not millions, but we got 1,500 Twitter followers.
Yeah.
You go on Facebook, there's only like 250 people that even follow that page.
I'm at like on Facebook I think I have 177 and I'm at the 1,500 range on
Yeah.
Twitter as well.
Yeah.
And Facebook though, I think it's not to hate on Facebook, but they're trying to get you to pay for that.
Oh, yeah.
That exposure. And
Yeah.
and I think that they're almost they're building their business model to ask you to pay for it, because Facebook gave me a $30 credit.
Yeah.
They were like, here's $30 for free to boost your ad or boost your post and see what happens when you do that. So I used that $30 on a video and I got like 8,000 interactions with
Yep.
the video.
Yep.
Whereas my normal Facebook Live videos may get like 1,000 people touched or whatever it is touched. That's I'm not trying to touch reach people.
Yeah,
and,
no.
And I just think that they're just really trying to make money from it, because a lot of social media, in the past, they're trying to figure out how they can make money from it, because they've got all of these users and all of these people. But I think, what was it back in the day? Facebook didn't turn a profit for like the first. I don't even know if they still have it. The first 10 years they didn't even make any money.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing that. Like the problem is, like when I first started, like the first business page that I had on Facebook. We did a commercial for shit, and I can't remember who it was now, but we boosted the post for, I want to say it was like, I think we may have put like $50 or $100 down. It was kind of one of the things we did. We had our little video production company. Was we would boost your post for a week to make sure it got out, help you out, helps us out, and one of the first ones we boosted, I think it may have been maybe $50. I think that's all we used to do. But the one post reached like 27,000 people.
Damn.
And we were like, oh shit, okay, this is a good deal for. Okay, what can we do for $100? You know. Well, so then here 2 years ago, Facebook changed their algorithm of how that post gets boosted.
Yeah.
So now the post of ours that reached 25,000 people now only reaches 1,500 people for the same price.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well, then what's the point in me? You know what I mean? They're trying to turn a profit, but that shit's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you're a small company like we were, there's not a lot of overhead from marketing. It's all going into equipment and, that building your brand, and you don't really have all that extra to boost a post for $300 or $400 to reach 27,000 people.
Yeah, exactly.
But they really fucked that up a lot.
And I think that's what I'm trying to do with just like joining those guys from Cincinnati. I think just getting across like platforms, like for example, like you guys being this close, it already makes me think that there's a possibility of like just getting like a group of people, because then you can kind of combine your resources and the people that to go across platforms. And it's what I've talked about with a couple of buddies, like my buddy in Florida, that he's going to be moving back to Indy within the next year. He wants to do like video, and he wants to like do short films and things like that. And I think that having like him working together with a group of people, it's going to be a lot more successful than if we try to do it by ourselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where we've BJ's a writer. I'm a video guy. Sproles, when he's here, I mean he's the guy who films and edits all of our videos that we put out. We haven't put out that many, but he's only been back a month and a half.
Yeah, and we've already done 3 actually. We did 2 and then one more.
Is it the Carb Day video?
We did the Carb.
That was good.
Carb
I like
Day.
that.
We did Carb Day. We did Comic-Con. And then I'm not sure.
We have more.
Oh yeah, we got more from Carb Day that we haven't put out yet. We got one dude that's wearing a romp hem. And it is American flag.
Nice.
And we're like standing in the road interviewing him, and this dude is hilarious.
And
he's so serious.
And the people behind him start singing "Pledge Allegiance" to
the people.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we're gonna put it out.
That's great.
He's wrote skits, that we want to get produced, and we're now that Sproles is back, we're gonna be able to do that. And I heard you talking about it here a couple weeks ago. About starting a network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A creative network, where it's people who do podcasts, people who do videos, we all become, one, and let's put some shit out.
Yeah, it's like what I equated to was the Barstool Sports. They started as just a couple of guys making videos.
Yeah.
And they just kind of like almost invaded every other form of media.
Yep.
And now you can't scroll through Facebook without seeing their stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, I mean, that might annoy some people, but if I'm doing it, it won't annoy me.
They're getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, that was kind of one of the reasons why we reached out to Blonde and Brunette was because they were local. You know, they were doing something, and we're like, well, shit. You know, let's have them on.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk to them, and then maybe we can do stuff for them. They, we can do stuff. They can do stuff with us. And like Jess, we had talked about doing a almost like a social media bar crawl this summer.
That's sweet.
And of course, I mean, we haven't really got around. They're busy. We're busy.
Yeah.
But for somebody, people who are small like us, it's almost worth it to, hook up with you, to hook up with Jess and them, up, and really get everybody, because like, off of this, like, I'm hoping that you get some of our followers.
Yeah. I'm hoping, and I've already got a couple of people that have been on my podcast sharing the stuff that, telling them that I'm on your show and that, go ahead and download it because you get to hear me on somebody else's show.
Exactly. I mean, and it's, and I've thought about it too, of course. I mean, Jess didn't really when they came in, they really hadn't been on like anything that wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, she was on Chick's podcast.
Yeah.
She was on their show. Then they came in here and it was kind of, it's almost kind of freeing.
It is.
To where you can, you don't have to worry about, running the board or doing, you can just come in and talk and be you. It's like right now, I'm like, okay, is this still recording? Is your sound okay? Should we be pulling something up right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they came in and, they cut loose.
Yep.
And they had fun, because, Caitlin wasn't worried about recording the video. They weren't worrying about any of that.
Yeah.
And so it's like when you go on somebody else's show, you're kind of like, well, shit, man, what's this gonna, it's like, what's this gonna be like? Then you get there, and just like Jess said, it's freeing.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about anything.
And I'm not gonna lie, I get nervous every time, just a little bit. Like I'm not somebody that like will freak out and freeze up, but I do definitely think about like, man, am I gonna be a good guest? Like, what am I gonna talk about?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
just like Aaron in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up. I froze. We did the Comic-Con video, and the whole I'd never thought about it, but because the whole week I was just like, okay, we'll interview these people, we'll do this. I never thought about questions.
Yeah.
And I got
It's kind of a big part.
You fucking think? Yeah. And I got to the first kid, and I didn't have a single fucking question, and I froze.
Yeah.
And I looked at BJ, and I was like, I don't know what to ask him. I don't know what to ask him.
What are you doing?
Yeah. And so he was like feed me one question, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. So I'd ask him, and then I'd go to ask him another question, and I wouldn't have one.
Yeah.
And I'd go, what else, buddy? Oh, and I mean, it was the very first interview of the day. I felt so sorry for the dude. But I mean, he seemed to roll with
Yeah.
it. But then I gave the lavalier and the mic to BJ, and I was like, "You're up." I was like, "Let me watch you do it for a minute, and then we'll go." And then
I was my wife and I were on the Adam Carolla and Friends Build Stuff Live TV show where they basically sent a message out on Twitter and said, hey, if you have any home improvement questions or anything that you want to do, email this email. And so I sent an email just like not thinking that anybody would ever contact me. And they contacted me, and so it kind of got the ball rolling, and we did a Skype interview with them and talked to them, and my wife, like, killed it, and she's the one who's, like, so nervous. She doesn't want to be on the podcast. She doesn't want to do videos or anything like that, and she, like, did a great job. I was the one kind of, like, almost hesitating, and I was like, I'm the one who has the podcast.
Yeah.
And so then but with the freezing up in front of the camera, we did rehearsals where we rehearsed the episode with Adam Carolla 4 times before we did it. And Adam, every single time, he's the improv guy.
Yeah.
Every single time we rehearsed, he did something different or said something different.
Yeah.
So they keep coaching us to like say this or do this.
Yeah.
And then he'll say something completely different, and you're like, and you just kind of stop, and you're doing it live on camera. So you're watching. You're like 3 or 4 seconds behind what he's saying. So he'll say something, and then we'll be like, yeah, and then like talk.
Oh,
And so he even called me out. He was like talking to me. And then he said, go ahead and get started on ripping that, because we ripped the carpet up off our stairs. We're going to do hardwood stairs instead of the carpeted stairs. And I started ripping it off. And then he was like asking questions because I heard him, but there's the delay. So I started doing it. He asked me a question and I didn't answer. And he like said something like, well, yeah, you can just go to hell. And like they moved on to like the next segment or whatever. And I kind of got shitty because I was like, well, you told me to do something, and then you're asking me a question while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But it was a good experience. It was cool. I got to work with like video production guys that I've never been a part of, and being on camera is definitely kind of makes you freeze up almost. At first.
It does. It really does. I mean, I've always been behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, I've never filmed anything of myself, and it was. I guess I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I was not. And BJ he's just rolled with it.
Yeah.
He's a
narcissist.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
I prefer sociopath
But we
or habitual liar.
we
Be all three.
we
Thank you.
Your episode that you put out yesterday with the life coach. Well, you didn't put out. You recorded yesterday with the life coach.
Yeah.
Did you get any phone? Did you get any people that called in?
No, I'm. That's something that I am trying to like promote a little bit more.
That is a lie.
That is a lie. You actually
Really?
almost had one.
We called Friday night.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. So, Friday we talked. I don't know. Did we talk about this on the show? No, we didn't. This was before. So, Friday, BJ had a bad day.
Yeah.
And so I knew he did. So I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, man, come by. Let's put it down. We'll record something. We'll have some fun. Let's just, let's cheer your ass up. I'll get drunk and you just watch me." And BJ doesn't drink.
Okay.
And so we sat down and we knew we had the concept interview coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Well, we wanted to check the phone to make sure it worked because last time it didn't. So we were scrolling through Facebook. It was Facebook, wasn't it? We were scrolling through Facebook on the computer, and while we were recording, and we saw your post.
Yeah.
Because I had followed your Facebook page here, I don't know, a couple days ago. And so I saw the number. Well, we were happened to be calling people, and we were like, let's just call it.
Yeah.
Let's call it. So I dial it up, and it rings, and somebody answers. It was, I don't know, it was a woman.
That was my wife.
That was your wife?
Yeah, like that's weird.
Did she tell you that we...
She like I was laying in bed right next to her, and she answers her phone, and she was like, "They asked for Justin, but you're Justin."
She said, "Justin who?"
She goes, I was like, well, dude, I didn't think it through.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I ask for juice? Because I didn't expect anybody to answer.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to leave a voicemail.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I routed it. I thought, that's weird, the number. I wonder if it's people are calling her number instead, or did you guys?
No, we called the number.
That I put on.
Yeah,
on
you
Instagram,
put on.
because on Instagram I had it up.
Yeah, that's right.
And
it was
then
on Instagram.
he was like, "Oh shit, is his name Justin?" It's like, "Yes, it's Justin."
No, I knew his name.
No,
but
no.
I didn't know what
after she said that, we were like, "Oh my god!"
Well, she answered, and I was like,
I really wonder how that I routed that to her phone instead of mine.
Yeah, because it like a woman. I thought it was maybe the life coach's wife. Because you said
Yeah.
like you said he is going to be on her show,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, cool. So I called the number, and I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was funny as hell. and
I should have just told her to let it go to voicemail, because she did. The number came up, and she was like, "I don't know this number," and I was like, "Well, just answer it." And she was like, "Okay," and like so she answered it, and then that's when
son of a bitch.
That was us.
But I was like, was Justin there? And she was like, Justin. And I was like, shit. I was like, we might have the wrong number. She was like, Justin who?
I think
And
she was like trying to figure out if you were actually if somebody was actually looking for me on her phone.
Yeah. But I was like, oh man, sorry, we got the wrong number. And I just hung up
That
real
was
quick.
weird too. That's
we thought-
I had to
hilarious.
tell her it was us.
We
Man.
thought, man, we dialed the wrong number.
Yeah.
Maybe we got one because he's typing into the computer instead of dialing.
Yeah, instead of dialing on the phone, it was all these up here, and it was just like I was like,
That's
I
so
think
weird.
I did it right. What just happened there?
I don't know. We
We
were
just lower.
That's man.
Oh,
now I'm gonna have
man.
to check into that, because I don't know what I was doing with. Man, I set up that Google Voice. Maybe I was signed into her email.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, because now I'm like,
She's gonna be pissed if
well,
she
maybe-
keeps getting phone calls.
Oh yeah, no joke. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, we called because we called his boss. We called Jay Moy.
How did the boss call go?
Called me.
Oh no, it was good.
Okay.
Read the text. You still got the text?
No, I don't think I do.
I know there was one of them that just said "fuck you guys."
No, it wasn't negative. It was
No, it
was
no. We were just making fun of him.
because he was I guess there's a pond where he's at, and he was asking if I was going to be at the store tomorrow so he can show us the pond. And there's like, he just goes there and hand feeds catfish.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I was
yeah.
asking, and that's why I said, hey,
Looks
check
like the
your
water's
voicemail.
boiling.
Yeah,
You've seen that before?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's a restaurant in Florida where it's called Home of the Trained Catfish. I don't know the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
I think it's in no, I think it's near Orlando. And then you just feed them. There's like thousands of them
Yeah.
right there. It's just
crazy.
Really, it's
Yeah.
kind of gross a little bit.
Yeah. So what's tell me what's your plans? Like what is your plan to grow this?
I mean, what I keep trying to do is just get a hold of people. Adam, like the Adam Carolla show is the show that I listen to all the time. I've called in a couple different times. They've had me on the show. I actually have those podcasts saved on my phone just so that I can go to them to listen to them. And they have a news girl named Gina Grad, and I tweeted her because she yesterday said, I have a lot of free time right now and I'm answering Twitter questions. So I tweeted and said, hey, Gina, would you ever want to call in to my podcast? And she replied back, DM me some details and we'll try to work it out on a schedule because scheduling is really tough. And so I went to her page. You can't DM somebody if they don't follow
They don't
you.
follow you, yeah, or they don't have open DMs.
Yeah,
which
so-
we found a porn star that had an open DM. She was supposed to come on, didn't make it.
I let her know my DMs are wide open.
Shit.
So I'm just trying to get more people that have a larger reach to come on the show, or at least like I told her like specifically through Twitter because I was like, I can't DM you, but if you have 10-15 minutes just to call in, I think that would just be awesome for my show, and that would just like help myself because I'm doing all this on my own. I'm trying to build something, and then I'm also trying to just do anything, like anybody that's interesting. The kind of the idea of the podcast kind of changed. I started out, I wanted to tell stories and like kind of have a storytelling kind of podcast, but then I started having guests on that were interesting to me. They're my friends right now, but I'm trying to get more people to come on. I emailed somebody. I'm looking for a medium or a psychic, so if there's anybody that's
I saw
listening,
that.
I would like to have them on because I also have a friend that's the meteorologist on channel, I want to say channel 8, but I'm not going to say his name now that I just thought about it because I don't want to get him in trouble. But he's gonna come on when I have the psychic or medium on, and then I'm gonna kind of have them predict some stuff. And I told the guy in the email, I was like, I know their like ability may not work this way, but have them play along because it'll be fun for them to predict the winner of the Super Bowl or celebrities that are going to die this year or something like that, and then see who's more right, the meteorologist or the psychic, because they both predict stuff for a living. So I thought that was a good idea for just like a subject for a show. I'm really just trying to figure it out. I'm just going one day at a time and just keep playing on the social media, trying to get just more and more reach out there. One of the things I want to do too is get one of those 360 degree cams. Like I see your little stand right there in the middle of the table.
That's a GoPro cam or GoPro stand.
But you can get like those 360 like circle cams and like screw it on there, and then the person, if people are following on Facebook Live, they can it's almost like they're in the room with you. And I think that's the next step I want to take with video instead of doing the iPad on a mic stand. So
no, the whole video. I mean, that's where we go next, but. It's you think about it, all it takes is one person to be like, dude, did you hear this dude? And send it to a buddy. And then it blows up. But it's so hard to find. Our biggest problem is people sharing it. It's like you listen to it, but then you don't share it. And it's like, well, come on, that's what this social media shit's for. Like, if you like something, fucking share it. And that's the hardest problem. I mean, is getting people to. Because that's what it is. I mean, unless you're paying big money to a marketing firm to market your fucking podcast, you're relying on your friends, your family to share your shit.
That's if they even know what a podcast is. I'm
That's
being
true.
honest about that.
Well,
that was the hard part.
That's true. I mean, we know about podcasting, but there's still podcasting is still in its baby, its baby form.
No, it's been around for what, like 10 or 11 years, or something like
and
that.
It started out at first as how I got into it was I used to listen to Pardon the Interruption, the show on ESPN, and then now all of a sudden you can go on, you could listen to them on, you could stream them because you're working during the day, you didn't get to listen to the show. Then I started listening to the DP show, and then that's when I got into Rogan. Then I got into like Bill Burr and all those other guys. I was like, wow, this is great. And I remember when I knew I was listening to it when it very began because there was no commercials.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all of a sudden you listen to one like, wow, there's fucking 35 commercials on this now.
And if you ever binge listen to a show, like you start at the beginning, you'll notice as they grow more and more commercials every like episode. Because I'll listen to some of those like Theater of the Mind podcasts where they like kind of like are, you know, they're doing like stories. It's almost like a radio entertainment where they're, you know, the Black Tapes is one of my favorites that I listen to, and it's basically like two people investigating something, but they do it through like interviews and things like that, and they have sound effects, and like it's really good. So the first episode, though, in the first season, you start listening through, no commercials, it's just all entertainment, and then you get to like the next season, and it's middle or beginning, middle, end. There's always like something, and it's the same commercial every episode.
And that's you know, we talked about Rogan's podcast. You know, his format. You know, where he has his ads at the beginning and then he has them at the end. You know, because you don't interrupt a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like us sitting here. You know, we've been having this conversation the whole time. You know, and it's been flowing. Well, if we stop to do an ad read, you lose that flow. And I've always, you know, we got a couple sponsors. Nothing big, but you know, I don't put them in the middle of the show because, you know, this whole time we've been carrying on and joking and you know, you lose that vibe. There's been podcasts that we've had where like we've had to stop. You know, like kids start screaming or something too much, and we, you know, it wasn't canceling it out, or something happened and we had to stop, and you totally lose that vibe that you had, and it just I can't deal with the ads.
Yeah, because you kind of get in the zone, you know, like
absolutely.
Like, I feel way like obviously I told you guys I get nervous before I talk with anybody else's show because I want to be good at it. So at the beginning I'm still kind of like. Now I feel like completely comfortable with anything, like
absolutely.
Whatever we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
no, absolutely.
You get in the zone and then you get taken out of the zone if you're doing an ad read.
And then I mean, I listen to several podcasts, and the only one, and I hate to talk about this because I had a bit of a problem with them not too long ago, but Barstool's McAfee show, they're the only ones that I've listened to that have done ad reads in the middle and been able to do it successfully.
Yeah, and I think it's
how they do
funny.
It is. It's funny. It's how they do it. You know, the what's his name?
Todd McComas.
Yeah, Todd McComas.
It's so funny when he does.
He starts going to, and I swear every time I listen to him talk, I think this is a fucking ad read.
And the thing is I don't think any of them had talent for a podcast, but like they had talent and just like quick like thinking.
Oh yeah,
because they've built up that habitual thing, which is like he's got that like that's a thing. You know, he's gonna be luring you into an ad read.
Oh yeah,
and then you've got the news guy like is always like they've already created a show with almost no. Yeah, it felt like they didn't really have a lot of work put into it. They just created a show and it was good.
Yeah.
And I feel I want that. Like,
oh yeah,
and I want more of my friends to be involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why, you know, of course, I mean, a lot of my friends don't live around here except for Sproles, but you know, it's like we've done with BJ. You know, we've had, you know, Chris is in here. We've had probably 10 other of your friends in here.
Yeah, they've all done really well.
Oh yeah, they have, because they can, you know, I mean, we try to make it an inviting environment, you know, where it is, you know, everybody's like, well, what do I say? And we're just like, whatever the fuck you want.
And then
we don't care.
And then that's why a lot of times this one a little bit different, because you do a show, so it'd be a little bit easier. But we try to set up certain things and have notes. That way, if it does stall out, I have like a list of 3,000 generic questions to ask.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. Did you come up with those questions, or did you?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
And he does. I mean, and you know, for the most part, I mean, BJ, you know, writes. I mean, he doesn't write the show, but he has a guideline to where
helps if we get structure.
If we get stuck, you know, he's like, you know, well, what about, you know, and so I mean, it works perfect. But that's why, you know, going back to you doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Fuck, I couldn't do it.
Man, it's one of those things that, like I told you, feeling freer on this. You're running, like you said, running the board. I'm trying to look stuff up. I've told, like, you asked about what you want to do in the future, grow this. Yep. I want to get a female co-host, because I don't hear a lot of podcasts with female co-hosts.
Nope. I agree.
Some of a lot of the big ones have them.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I want to find somebody that's interested in that. I've got a friend that's a girl that was on one of my podcasts. She has a full-time job, and she was but she was in the service industry, and we had a a long discussion about that when that was not even the subject of the podcast, but it was
Yeah.
good, so
Yeah.
we just
Oh,
kept
yeah.
it going.
Yeah.
And I've told her I'd like her to do it, but she's kind of like, she doesn't like to commit to stuff too much. So, and I don't know, my wife does not want to be on the podcast,
Yeah.
so I keep trying to get her to do it. She doesn't want to do it. And I just don't know how she'd feel about that other girl, and I don't know how she'd feel about any girl because she gets a little.
She still cares
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah, she
She's like my wife. She's jealous as fuck.
yeah, she definitely is.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
we're looking for a female co-host, so make sure you take a picture and send it to Smugcast. What is it? At smugcastshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, it's got to be topless though.
We just want to go through the submissions. And once again, all the dick pics go at AP.
Fuck you! Don't send that shit to me. Don't
on
send
Twitter.
that shit to me.
The dick pics.
No, yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to do the podcast with my wife. Because mainly because of what she does, and I think it could be huge. But it would kind of be more or less a dumbed down version of this show. Still be funny, but yet have have a little background to it. With like her and what she does.
Mm-hmm.
And and she's funny as shit. She digs on me every day, and it's fucking hilarious. But she was like, well, I'm not a good storyteller. And I was like, well, we're not fucking telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're talking, we're having a conversation. It's just being recorded.
Yeah.
And so I see your point. I mean, I think if we had a female in here at all times, I kind of wonder if it would be the same.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this is a boys' club.
Well, if you
it really is.
if you
Yeah,
listen,
but if you have hashtag one of the guys type girls, you'll be fine.
yeah, and if you listen to some, like, for example, I know I keep repeating the Adam Carolla show, but that's the one I listen to daily. He says whatever he wants, and then he might like be like, "All right, I'm sorry, Gina, but I had to go there." And like, and she is that kind of person where she like just takes it in stride, and that's another thing that I talked about on my recent podcast, that hasn't downloaded yet, is she doesn't get offended, and that's the kind of person that you need in the realm of doing this, especially with like the way you guys get on some topics. Like, you got to have somebody that's not going to take offense to
definitely.
you call them out.
It goes back to me. Look, Stern had Robin, Bob and Tom had Christy Lee. I mean, it was nice. It was also a way to bring things back when they would,
Get away from it.
when you get away, and then they would bring it and bring it full circle or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's why we had we have Sproles on now. I mean he's our third co-host, and when when we first started, it was just us two, and then we started having guests. Well, then we had Sproles on, and I've known Sproles since I was 14 years old, and so there's history there, and we know each other, and but he is, we like to say he's kind of our Xanax to our, our opium, I mean, because he is, me and him are really outlandish, and he's just like, dude, come on, man. What the hell are you talking about? But, it's, you got to find that balance.
There's got to be a good mix.
You got to find somebody who can take it and not get offended and then yet come back with something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's, I like what we do. I like what you do. I love your show. I
appreciate it.
I mean, I can't even remember how long ago we found out about it, but it's been a while.
It was a retweet.
Was it?
It was. I saw someone retweeted that, and I always look at all the podcasts.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Found out where he was from.
On the Potter and Family hashtag, like I usually I'll click on that and I'll retweet everybody sharing their episode. But what I also try to do is if somebody's like posting any kind of question or anything to like respond to, I do my best to like think of a response and like respond to it, because I think that shows that you're actually interacting and not. I've heard somebody call the Potter and Family like an echo chamber, where you post something and then everybody like posts it, so then it like kind of echoes across everybody's Twitter like universe or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I try to do is I'll do that because I want to support everybody that's doing the same thing that I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
But I also do want to interact because I want that interaction. I want people to interact with what I say. So it's kind of like doing a give and take with people.
Yep.
And that's just like, I think that's one of the, that hashtag jumped my followers up from around a 200 or 300 range to where it's at now. So I'm trying to figure out what the next thing to do is.
Yeah, no, me and Mr. Sproles, when we had our video company, we actually hired a guy that taught us, social media marketing. And the way he went about it, I was like, yeah, I mean, I see where you're going, but that's not really the route I want to go, because his idea to grow was to go follow a bunch of people. Well, like, what's the point in having fucking 100,000 followers? If you're also following 100,000 people, because you can't interact with those 100,000 people. And so, when we first started our show, I started to go that route again, and I was like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because, before I knew it, I was following 700 people and I only had 500 followers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't interact with any of these people. So, like, I totally just went back and deleted everybody.
Yeah.
And started all over. And I was like, we're just going to grow this dude, the best we can. Oh, my kids are going ape shit. And we're just going to see what happens, and then now we're up to, I still follow like 1,000 people, but, it's 1,000 people that I wanted to follow for our show account. And I like my personal account, which is the Smugcast AP. I only have like 300 and some followers, but I don't push that. I'm pushing the show.
Yep.
And so I mean, it's Twitter is so it's so weird.
Yeah.
Because with the Potter and Family tag, that's what we started doing that too.
Yeah.
And the thing that kind of ticked me off with it didn't tick me off, but with the whole Potter and Family where they have the Pot of the Week.
Yeah.
Like, we were up for it along with, I can't even think of the other 4 people's names, but it was more or less between us and one other show.
Yeah.
But
the real dudes won it.
The real dudes.
Yeah, and I actually ended up talking to them. They were pretty cool.
Oh, did you?
They couldn't believe we'd only been doing this since October, and they were impressed, and I was just like,
That's good.
But the problem is, for that show, there was only 195 votes.
Yeah,
total.
and all those
For
people
that-
that
for
are
that
in
entire-
Yeah, for like the thousands of people.
They have over 9,000 followers, and there was only 195 people that actually voted on that thing.
that's crazy.
And that's like
That shows that people aren't really interacting with it.
Exactly. And that's what, everybody's getting retweets, but I'm like, okay, well, is everybody downloading the show, or are they just going for retweets so you can get on other people's page so they can get more followers?
Exactly.
Like, I could give a fuck less about followers.
Yeah.
I want people to download my fucking show.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
I
what
agree.
I was thinking too. That like I've been able to have direct messages with some of the people on the show and interact with them, which is great. But that's what it feels like. It's retweet, and then. But I think all their followers are all. It feels like there's podcasts that are following podcasts on top of podcasts, and there's not actually any individual followers in there.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the shows are all downloading each other, so it's so complicated.
Yeah.
It is.
Really, that's
It
one
very-
thing.
it is.
Because it's not like a radio show. You put it on channel 99 point whatever,
Yeah.
and then it already has its base, and they'll like your show or not.
Yeah.
Now you're just trying to put it out there and have people download it, and you start from ground zero basically, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one day because I check my numbers like every day, multiple times a day, because I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I saw one day I had like 600 downloads in one day, and I was like, "What the fuck did I
Yeah.
do?" Like,
Yeah.
what? And I was trying to figure out like, how do I recreate that? Because like. That literally, there's that spike. Like I showed it, like I can look at my numbers and see like 200, 300, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I see that like 600. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What did I do right that day?
Yeah.
That got
And
all
it-
of those downloads.
And the thing that we started doing, because it was, it was a learning process. And so, I went and I researched everything I could. BJ researched everything he could. And, the biggest thing that I came across was, because iTunes doesn't recognize hashtags anymore.
Yeah.
So it has to be within the name of your show and the description. Well, if you name your show, like we've had 2 conspiracy theory episodes, and we've had 1 flat Earth. Okay, well these are all conspiracies. Conspiracies are freaking huge.
I love 'em.
On podcasts. Both conspiracy theory, because I titled them conspiracy theory. Well, if you go search for a show and you're looking for conspiracy theory, you're going to type in conspiracy theory. Well, that's going to be one of the episodes that pops up.
Nice.
Like one of our episodes that I think it was the first conspiracy theory episode we had. If you went to iTunes and just search conspiracy theory, it was the 6th episode
Nice.
in iTunes. And
So I
was-
need to think about titling my episode.
exactly. And that's how we've grown this show.
I was
So
not
just
doing this.
just put like porn in every
Porn. That's
You
gonna-
could. We just put porn 1, porn 2. But that's how we grew our show.
Yeah.
Because that was the only way that we could think of without social media to grow the show. And so it was like everything is like that's why, like, if you go back and look, like, most of them are titled like one-word things or
Yeah.
one or two-word things.
You just blew my mind, and I'm going to be doing that from now on.
I'm not even kidding you, man.
And then when
because when we start doing that, you know, we would get, like, say if it was the beginning of the month, and well, okay, we'll take for instance May, the beginning of May. Within 2 days of May, we had 600 downloads. We'd only put out one episode, and that episode didn't have 600 downloads.
Damn.
And we were like, what in the hell? How did this, how do we have, you know, of course, I check it too all the time. Well, not as much as I used to, but I do. And I was just like, how did we get 600 downloads in 2 days in May? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so then I go back and I start checking all of it, and it's like, well, you had 100 downloads on conspiracy theory. Well, then you had 200 downloads on this conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Well, Flat Earth got 150, and you're just like, holy shit. And we figured out a long time ago, if you label anything that is a conspiracy theory thing, you're going to get a shit ton of downloads.
And then they're going through and listening to the show, and then
Yeah.
they're going back and downloading
Listen to
other
other
They're
shows.
going to download other shows
Nice.
because, like, our first episode, which was just a stupid, you know, we really is one of those.
It was
we
an
didn't know.
introduction, yeah.
It was an introduction. You know, it doesn't have as many downloads as our highest downloaded, but I mean, you know, you're talking like 1,500, 2,000 downloads on that one episode that came out fucking over 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, you're still getting downloads on it in May.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, okay, cool. So people are
So you're
going back.
stacking.
They're listening to all the episodes, you know, so it's like your show just keeps building and building and building.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of it is based off of, because we've titled it things that people search for.
Yeah. Like that's what that you saying that literally just connected that for me, because my cousin Zach that came on that talked about Dungeons and Dragons, I titled it Zach D&D. Like I titled Juice in the AM episode whatever number Zach D&D. And then, like, that's what the keywords I used when
Yep.
I was posting it. That's the one that got the 600 downloads.
Yep.
So you
It's-
helped me out just now.
It's
I appreciate that.
Oh,
Thank
no problem,
you so
man.
much.
And it's-
I'd love to see, you know, everybody's show grow, you know, because it's exciting. It's
Yeah.
exciting for us, you know, and I'm always somebody who wants to get somebody else excited about something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, it's exciting, you know, for me to, you know that you've kind of made that connection. But, I mean, it really is. I mean, from all the research, you know, I mean, we spent hours.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. I read,
hours.
I
And then
read
figure-
articles all the time.
And if you go search our episode, it says what the listeners also are subscribed to is Vibert, Chrissy Lee, Chick McGee,
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, Barstools. So, and that's changed because that wasn't used to be on there.
No, they didn't used to be like that.
Yeah.
No, it just would say more in common, or it used to say similar to. Now
Yeah.
now they're actually, which is messed up.
Yeah, no shit.
Because it's everybody knows everything we do. So they were able to go through and see what they're downloading our show, and so it looks like a lot of local shows.
yeah, I mean,
that's awesome.
I mean, you know, that's why we, you know, that's why we're having Juice on. You know, it was we wanted to go local. We wanted to have local people that we could interact with on a personal level to do some shit.
Yep.
You know, and that's why we had, you know, why we contacted Blonde and Brunette, and I was really surprised that we actually got them. But
Yeah.
they came on. Now Jess has been back twice.
Nice.
You know, just to be on an episode.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she's super dope person. I mean, absolutely. I remember the first day they came in. You know, we were waiting on him. He'd smoked about 10 cigarettes in about 30 minutes. I was outside with him. We were pacing, nervous wreck.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, it's
I'd be
Jess.
nervous.
We've had people not show up before too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it was like, well, this is Jess. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, she's on, you know, Chick McGee's podcast. You know, I mean, this chick's done a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, she knocked on the door and I opened the door, and I'll be damned, there ain't Jess standing there.
That's
I
awesome.
thought, holy shit, she's at my fucking house.
Yeah. That's so cool. Like,
Are we fucking, you kidding me right now?
I would be super nervous. I mean, I got nervous for the Pointless Discussion guys to come to my house and
Yeah.
like do a show with me, and I didn't need to be nervous about that. But it's just it's one of those things that you're just like, just anybody. I want to be good at it, and that's
yeah.
and I think that's a good kind of nervousness to have. Which is,
absolutely.
Which is like, you just want it to be good, and you want to get the right people.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of every podcast, you know, because I do control all this over here, I mean, it's like the first 10 minutes, like, I'm trying to talk and introduce the show, but then I'm also like, shit, is this shit over here working too? And I'm a fucking nervous wreck for about 10 minutes, and I'm like, all right, shit's good. We're good to go. Let's go. Let's roll.
Because we had to shut off during the band, right?
Yeah,
That had never happened. Just shut off during the middle of it.
it was CJ. It was Calvin Tankman.
Oh yeah,
It shut off.
That
Like,
was a fun episode.
something. Well, I know exactly what it was. That's why I restarted the computer before every episode. It's because it had been on for about 3 days because I've been working on shit.
Yeah.
And I clicked record and it didn't start, and I seen it and I clicked it again. Well, it started to record and then shut off.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, we just fucking missed like 5 minutes. This fucker ain't even recording.
That was one of the ones we Facebook that actually got a bunch of retweets or
Yeah.
whatever it's called, share whatever.
Yeah.
Is where we had CJ hit.
Oh, yeah.
Fat Jesus.
Yeah, we did a video. Oh yeah, that's the other video. We did a video.
He did a Ric Flair chop right
Yeah.
across his chest.
It was, and I tell you, when we were doing it, we were, BJ was like, he was, is Mike going to pick it up? And I was like, oh yeah, fuck it, he'll pick it up on all of them.
Oh yeah.
But what we should have done is put a mic up by it.
Oh yeah.
Because you just really didn't get that full, because it would have blew out. We'd have clipped on every mic in here if we'd have put a mic up next to it. But it was loud, man, and people freaking ate it up. They're like, that shit's hilarious, And it was so loud, it freaking echoed in his room.
And we've had a lot of support even from my friends. Asian Sensation. It's like, hey, what about this person? I think I know this person maybe, and that's what the cool part is that.
Yeah.
So we've been able to get people that want to be part of the show, and they'll send us more people to say, hey, why don't you check this person out?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's fun, man. I love it. I dig it.
Yeah, and we've been able to bring people on that are our friends, and it's helped grow it a little bit. I mean, they download it, may not listen to it, but at least they download it.
Yeah. Thanks for the support, Dave.
No, I mean, like we've talked about in early episodes, like me and Chris worked together, and then also with Trent Mondo, but we would just fucking rip each other.
Yeah.
But then we get in these heated discussions, and not in a bad way, about certain things, and we would go back and forth, and it was just like, wow, this is really. People would say, wow, it's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, that's why I've always wanted.
That's why I tell you, one of my probably my second favorite episode is the roast battle.
Dude, that's my favorite.
But it's the section with Mondo and Trent.
Yeah.
That fucking shit is hilarious.
As soon as we're done, I'm going to download it.
Oh, it's
I was in the room and I was crying.
oh, it was strip club stories, man. Hashtag strip club stories.
Well, the worst part about, the only thing I didn't like about the roast was at the end when nobody would laugh when I was like, it's okay to laugh at
because
this.
you go to the worst possible fucking thing to make everybody uncomfortable, and I'm laughing. I was
That's
laughing.
what
like,
comedy
you listen,
is.
Like I'm laughing. Everybody else is like, oh.
That's
shit.
because Steph was in the room.
Yeah, he made something about a joke about his wife and getting a divorce or something like that.
Every
I
day.
just fucking lost it.
Yeah.
Everybody else was like, "Oh shit!"
And I called someone.
Should we laugh?
I called somebody. You remind me of Chris Farley, except without the talent.
Yeah, but it was more or less like being at a Dave Chappelle comedy show, and him making a black joke, and the only white people in the audience going, "Shit, should we laugh at that?"
Well, some of it just went like this.
Yeah.
it
Like,
did.
it was just
really did.
like,
I mean, I got
what?
it, but we've been in here a long time.
Yeah.
And most people are here probably don't listen to it. And
Sometimes we have to dumb ourselves down so they get
yeah,
the joke.
and so he wanted to go the route to make everybody uncomfortable, which I thought was funny because everybody was uncomfortable and nobody was laughing, so I was laughing.
The white one they wouldn't laugh was when I said I would make fun of Trent Mondo, except
But
I'm so afraid of black people.
So afraid of black people. You hear Mondo in the background going, "Oh no, man!"
Like Trent Mondo were laughing, and white people were like, "I think it's okay." No, that's the fun stuff about comedy is when you make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So I mean, but that was that just little snippet of that podcast is freaking hilarious, but. It got so bad. We were supposed to go right into Asian Sensation, and we had to stop because I got the hiccups so bad.
That and he was 3.5 hours late.
Then he was 3.5 hours and brought no fucking cake. He was
No
supposed to
cake.
make a
He was
cake.
supposed to make
didn't
cake.
bring a fucking cake.
Didn't
It was his
bring it.
birthday.
Yeah.
So we roasted him on his birthday, and he didn't bring a cake and didn't show up till fucking 10:30.
If all else fails, we become professional roasters for people. Put them on for them.
Yeah, right, good.
Oh, it was so great.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this. How long have we been going? Holy shit! It's been an hour and a half.
It doesn't feel like that means it's a good episode.
No, that's good. Yeah.
That's good. That's always good.
It's always, I always notice in my shows, like if we get to, because I'm watching that the whole time, if we get to an hour and we don't want to stop because it's just like going, I'll just not tell them where we're at. Because everybody I tell beforehand, I'm usually like, I try to keep it between an hour. So like I'll let you know when we're getting close to wrapping up. And for example, like the one with my cousin, I was like, I can talk about this stuff
Oh,
all day
yeah.
because I have no experience with Dungeons and Dragons and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And I just was like, just enamored by everything he was talking about. I was like, and just asking him more and more questions about it because it
Yeah.
was just interesting as hell to me.
Well, when we had the blonde and brunette episode, you know, it was literally like we didn't even know. We hit 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I saw Jess look at her phone, and I was like, "Oh shit, how long have we been going?" And it was like 2 hours and 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh shit, we need to wrap this up." And she was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to look at my phone." And I was like, "No," I was like, "I'm glad you did." Like, we'd have been in here for 3 hours. I didn't even think about it. But it was so fun. I mean, they were a blast.
Yeah.
But you know, it does, man. You get a good conversation, and you know, my wife. You know, she's like, "Don't tell me how long you're going to do it." She's like, "Because you're never going to be right." And she's like, "So don't tell me you're going to do this and then it go longer and then it screw up my plan."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Well," I was like, "You never know." I was like, "You get in a good conversation and shit, it may go 2.5 hours."
Yeah, that's good that she's at least thinking that because my
Yeah.
wife just gets mad because I've gone longer than an hour.
Yeah. Well, because we started out telling her it was going to be an hour, and for a long time we stuck to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I paid very close attention to it, but then I was like, this is really cutting into my conversation with
Yep.
our guest
Looked like we were
because
forcing everything.
yeah, because it was like, you know, because we wanted to be funny. I mean, that's why we started doing it. And so it was like, okay, force a joke, you know what I mean? And it really, you'd go back and listen to it and go, shit, man. Well, that's funny, but now I gotta concentrate on what you're saying here because I want to laugh at this too. But that, you know, but shit. Then there's another joke after that, you know, and it just. So we finally just went away from like we're just gonna go and whatever fucking happens.
Yep, I'm going backwards through all your episodes, so I'll let you guys know.
Well, I would go back maybe 10 and stop.
I agree too. For me, like don't go to the beginning.
It's rough.
Before we go, we did have one question for everybody in the room.
All right.
What is your favorite, since it's just like going to end up being 95 today, it seems like.
Yeah.
What is your favorite summer tradition to do, even for still to
Ooh,
this
man.
day? It was a good one. I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't really have. The only one really thing that I like to do during the summer, and obviously it involves drinking, is I do like the. And of course they didn't come out with it last year, and I was pissed. But Leinenkugel's.
Yeah.
They have the Sunset Wheat beer.
Yep,
Oh fuck
good
me.
stuff.
And the liquor store that I go to down here didn't have it last summer, and I was pissed. I kept going in, where the fuck is this beer? I drink. This is what I drink during the summer. Where the fuck is my beer? And they were like, well, I don't know. You know, of course, people working there don't have a fucking clue.
That might be a sign of a problem.
You need to watch your mouth. And
I thought I had more vodka left. Like, you almost beat your wife the other night because she threw away the alcohol. Like, you're at my house yelling at me for what she did.
well, she fucking dumped out liquor.
You walked over there, I'm like, what? What you
It's one thing to dump out like a glass.
Yeah.
She dumped out half a bottle because she didn't know what was in it.
And you're at my house, I was like, hey, man. And you're like, I'm all right. I'm like, hey, what are you drinking? Oh, it's vodka.
I didn't drink for the road.
I was like, you want to stay here a little bit? No, why? What's the matter? I was like, no, never mind.
But so you know, I went there last summer and they didn't have that beer. Well, come January, they had it in stock. I said, who the fuck wants to drink this in the middle of the winter?
Exactly.
But that's about it, really.
You are a alcohol Nazi, by the way.
Well, you know, I mean, I just
Everybody-
I've had bad alcohol.
Don't
in my
worry
life.
about it. Don't listen to him. Everybody's got their passion.
Chris, do you have one, something you look forward to when it gets warm out, really warm outside?
Nothing that's like anything I can do consistently, but most summers I try to get down to Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, mixed drinks on the beach for about 3 or 4 days
hell
straight.
yeah.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
That's-
Juice?
I would say, and I know this is probably cliche, but the first time that I can have a bonfire and just
Oh, hell yeah.
and just have some grilled food, drink some beers with friends, listen to music. We actually have I call it the YouTube game. It's not really a game. It's just us just getting drunk, and you kind of go like how we're sitting right here. You go clockwise. So I play a song, any song off the top of my head that I want to play off YouTube, and then when it's over, you just pass it the phone or whatever tablet to the next person, and they play whatever. Like I tell them, I'm like, don't think about it. Just play that first thing that
Yeah.
comes to mind.
Hell yeah.
And and then it just keeps going around, and it's awesome that I think, and I actually was talking to somebody about it last night, and hey, these copyright is for me, so I'm just throwing it out there. I don't have it legally done, but this is my idea. I think it's a good tool almost that you could use in like a business sense, not in the drinking sense, but like the playing songs, because you get to know people through the songs that they pick, and then you start like it actually drives conversation because people are like, oh, I was 17 when I was listening to this song. We got pulled over by the cops and we had beer in our car or something like that. And you learn stuff about people. And if you do it with complete strangers, it's awesome because then everybody kind of like gets into it over that. So bonfire, YouTube game, beers is
I like
best
it, man.
summer thing.
I love that.
Thanks for going all existential. I feel fucking shallow now.
Luke,
Just drink on the
beach. What you got, Luke?
you haven't heard mine
Jeep
yet, though.
rides.
You like
Jeep rides.
Yeah, it is
Hell
fun.
yeah.
Top down, doors off.
That's
Hell
right.
yeah, man. Hell yeah. What about you, man?
Tank tops and sundresses.
Oh, hell yes.
I just leave it at that.
I mean,
He wears them all summer.
I get that ass waxed. Get some bleach. Looks good.
yeah.
No, we were out, and we were out. I think because I really don't take real vacations. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I think what Luke says is the best. Like, cause if you're the doors off and the top's off, your phone, you can't hear your phone. Can't be on your phone.
That's what, last summer we took my youngest. They're obsessed. My kids are obsessed with his Jeep. Just I mean, they don't have anything.
You
like
gotta
it.
be.
Oh yeah,
It's fun.
And so I can't remember. Weed came over or something. We went. We were going to Guitar Center to get something. I remember. And so we loaded a car seat up in the back of the Jeep. Doors off, top off, and rolled up to Guitar Center, and she freaking loved it, and I loved it. I was like, man, we got to get a Jeep. We got to get a damn
and
Jeep.
It's a 6-speed. It's not an automatic.
Yep.
Yeah, I drove. Yeah, we went to pick up your car, and I got to drive the Jeep, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I got to."
And it's not a fucking 4-door. It's a 2-door.
Yeah, 2-door.
It's an actual Jeep. It's not a fucking SUV like those other clowns use.
Yeah, see, I'd want a 4-door.
It's an SUV.
I don't care.
It's an SUV where the doors come off.
Well, still doors come off.
It's not a Jeep.
I'm gonna buy a Hummer. Buy an old Hummer.
We can get the doors off your SUV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, we can get them off. I got tools.
Me and
you figure out how to quit making it fucking ding when the doors are open.
Chris and I were talking about that earlier. We were talking about that, but because you ever heard of the Jeep Wave?
Yes.
I didn't know it for like the first.
Like your hand on the steering wheel, is it that?
No. They wave at you like if Jeeps wave at each other, like motorcycles wave at each other.
Yep.
Oh, no
so I didn't know.
Motorcycles is like the finger to the side.
Yeah.
Well, I've also noticed they put
put their hand down.
They also put their hand down.
Yeah.
You'll be driving and people be like, "Hey," and I'm like, I was like, "Seth, do you know that guy or something?" Like those people. And I looked online, and then it's an actual thing. Jeeps wave at each other. Huh. But I won't wave at 4-doors. I flip them off.
Yeah, my wife, she got the. This is a couple summers ago. But she has an Edge. Well, now I have it because I traded in my big ass truck, so she could have a new car. And I would see the motorcyclists wave at each other. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be should be funny if like every car like had its own wave. And so, every time we'd see an Edge, I'd throw my hand up, my arm up in like straight line, and we'd go, Edge. Every time I'd pass somebody, and she would just get so fucking embarrassed.
I used to do that in the minivan when we had it, but it was like this.
Gun to the head.
Yeah.
All right, shit. Well, we could do this for hours, but
No, it's great. But we're gonna don't forget. Hang on.
what are we going out to?
We're gonna do her version.
Oh, we're gonna do her version.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we go ahead and let
But we gotta do our social media.
Juice give out all of his social media, and I will look this up. Give me the name of that again. So go ahead and give out all your social media. Anything you want to do.
So you guys can find me at Juice in the AM on Twitter. It's at Juice in the AM on Instagram. Facebook, you just type in the search bar Juice in the Morning. You'll find it. It's Juice in the Morning podcast, I think. And just interact, because I interact back. Like I have all the time in the world to do that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And if even if you just comment on something or retweet something, I'm definitely going to respond. I mean, it's not like somebody's controlling my account. I'm doing everything by myself. So I will get around to it. And email at juiceinthemorning@gmail.com, spelled just like it sounds.
Awesome.
Support it, like I said.
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
lot of our
stuff.
listeners are local, except for the Isle Man. We're really massive there.
Yeah, how in the
Did
fuck
you
I still don't know
Did you
that.
do the breakdown of all the
Oh
countries?
yeah,
Is that not hilarious?
I have like 5 downloads in like Kazakhstan, and I'm
Yeah.
like, who the fuck is listening to me out in Kazakhstan?
You gotta be careful. You might not be able to
That's
walk
what-
down the street there. Huge.
That's what for some reason we're getting a bunch of downloads in the Isle of
Oh,
Man.
man.
I don't know why. I have no fucking clue.
Somebody
they
out there
downloaded
is
every
just
episode.
digging it.
But we'll go out of social media. You can follow us on Twitter. We are Smugcast Show, or at Smugcast Show, sorry. You can follow me. It's at Smugcast_AP. You can follow BJ. It's at the BJ Robbins. Don't forget, you can also follow Mr. Sproles. It's at Sproles TV. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Smugcast. We are also on Instagram. It's at Smugcast_. If you want to send us any shitty emails like you have before, you can send them to smugcastshow@gmail.com. Hashtag fuck Judy.
I love
Hashtag
that.
fuck Kate.
I love that you guys get those emails. It's awesome.
Also, is that it? That's it. It's Twitter, Facebook. Fucking. How do I not always remember this? How long have we been fucking
Because you
doing
used, to,
this?
you used to write it down in front of you, and you'd be like, da-da-da-da-da-da.
This is true. This is true. Also, don't forget you can go to rangernutrition.com. Use promo code SMUGCAST, and you will get 15% off your order. You can go to Jay's Wings and Seafood over on the east side of Indianapolis.
Hey, Jay.
Get promo code SMUGCAST. You'll get 10% off your order.
Make sure Jay's in there.
Yeah, no shit. Also, a big shout out to Repo Records. They help us out with the audio each and every week. Was on the phone with them again this morning. That's Repo Records, taking the music back. We're gonna exit out this week with a little music by Jasmine Thompson.
Yeah, a friend of mine turned me on to Jasmine Thompson. She does a lot of the covers, and I really enjoy this song, and it helped me out on Friday night.
Hey, there's an ad.
Shocker.
Imagine that.
So big shout out to my good friend for helping me out with that.
Oh yeah, who's that? We don't want to say. We don't want to say.
I don't have friends.
You don't have friends.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Though.
Yeah,
it was
dude.
awesome. It was fun.
It's
Seriously.
It's been a pleasure. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Man. You're fun. You're a good time.
Definitely want to come back.
So we'll get all of our social media shit together one day.
Are you ready? Ready? Low. 5, 6, 7. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. Hope you're wearing your best clothes. You can't buy the door on your way to the sky. You look pretty good down here, but you ain't really good. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck running from the bullets? The bullets. We never learned we've been here before. Why are we always stuck running from the bullets? The bullets. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We gotta get away from here. We gotta get away from here. Just stop your crying, it'll be alright. They told me that the end is near. We've gotta get away from here. Just stop your crying, live the time of your life. Breaking through the atmosphere. Things are pretty good from here. Remember, everything will be alright. And we can meet again somewhere. Somewhere far away from here. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. We gotta get away from here. We gotta get away from here. Stop your crying, baby, it'll be alright. They told me that the end is near. We gotta get away from